The exact sciences, sometimes called the exact mathematical sciences, are those sciences concerned with precision and exactness. The future of exact sciences doesn't look good to me. And not only since artificial intelligence flooded our environments. It started before, with digitization, which is actually the replacement of people by software. I didn't want to work in such a job, but I didn't have any choice. It's like digging your own grave. But you have no other option. And you need to pay your bills somehow. The world was chaos at the beginning. And mathematics plus exactness and precision have helped massively to transform chaos into order and civilization. It looks that our civilization wants back to the chaos. So that's why we don't need exact thinking anymore. The trend is towards diplomatic thinking rather than exact thinking. Returning to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Humanity needs some predictability to feel safe on this planet. And safety is the first need according to Maslow. Computer programming was for a very long time a logical thinking tool to earn a living. But this has already started to change, and it will continue to change in the future. Computer programmers will be like plumbers, electricians, painters, etc. We'll also have highly paid computer scientists. But they will be very rare and geniuses. Those who create models and tools to be used by the general public. The old job of typical computer programmer of reusing and adapting other programs will not be paid anymore. You'll get used to do basic programming the same way you administrate your PC. As I discussed in a previous video, it's not worth to be a scientist anymore. You need to search for another path in life, and in my previous video I suggested to become a seller. We'll go back to this option later. But first I would like to discuss another option, namely becoming a lawyer. The justice system should be an exact science. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with an exact science. I strongly believe that we need artificial intelligence to replace lawyers and judges, but for the moment being a lawyer or judge is a very good option, not only to survive, but mainly to thrive. Lawyers earn here incredibly much money, $350 per hour. You'll never find in any other job, not even as a doctor you are not paid as much. Plus, doctors have a responsibility, while lawyers take absolutely no responsibility to win your case. We need lawyers because we lack justice. Life is becoming more and more complicated, so robbery will increase, scams will increase, narcissism will increase, mental health will decline, which will increase the need of psychiatrists and psychologists. And the need for medication. The complexity of our world will increase the need for judges and lawyers. But can a scientist reconvert into a lawyer? Unfortunately, the thinking of a lawyer is extremely different of the mathematic thinking. The advantage of a lawyer is that he can be self-employed, so you don't need to suffer and sell your life and health to an employer. Try to create your own opportunities. Try to surround yourself with leaders and not followers. Unfortunately, the university produces followers and not leaders. That's why I am not sure that university is a good choice for your future. If you don't want to become a lawyer or a medical doctor, you need to think very seriously if you really need to go to university. It depends on the field that you want to pursue. Probably you'll never make as much money as a medical doctor or a lawyer, but on my channel we consider life quality to be the most important. The better the earning does not necessarily mean the better the life quality. University, like any other form of education, is worth only if it opens you doors to jobs, better people, better opportunities, and better environments. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. Unfortunately, life has become so complicated that we cannot afford wasting time anymore. Of course, it's important to like what you do, because it will take all your time. And if you fill in your time with things that you don't like to do, you cannot do great things. In order to be successful in what you do, you'll need to invest a lot of your time in it. It will be a learning process. You'll learn new things and you'll forget things that are no more helpful to you. If you could have a team of your choice, it would be fantastic, but that's not easy. Self-sufficiency is a muscle that you could start training right now. So let's start by making a list of things that you like to do, and other things that you would like to learn. If you enjoy logical thinking, what else could you do in order to use your logical thinking? I think now more than ever it's important not to put all your eggs into the same basket. It's called diversification. No matter what you choose to do, become a doer and develop your can-do attitude. Develop selling skills because you will need them in everything, even in getting a job. However, universities never consider this aspect of education, which actually brings you the most important thing in your life, freedom. Both the seller and the lawyer are outgoing, extrovert people. For introverts, life was always and it will always be more complicated. So train your outgoing muscle, because our society praises the outgoing people. Our society sees introverts in a negative way. But then, if you want to change from introvert to extrovert, you need to act quickly. Research indicates that you could reach this change till the age of 30. After this age, personality traits are pretty stable. Personally, I am born an extrovert. I did pretty crazy extrovert things when I was a child. School ruined my extrovert nature. So I strongly believe that the personality trait is not genetic. It is related to how you see the world, and how much trust you put into your fellow humans. If you are afraid of them, you'll hide by becoming an introvert. But if you love them and trust them, you'll be happy to talk to them and to get to know them. If you live in a toxic environment, your chances to ever become an extrovert are zero. Depression and fear will make from any extrovert an introvert. The good news is that you can become a successful salesperson as an introvert. You don't need to be laud in order to be a good seller. Being effective in sales comes down to learned skills, not personality type. Selling is about influencing others, and this is a skill that anyone can learn. It's called a soft skill, which is less about sales tactics and more about the way you approach a prospective client. Not only that you can be a successful salesperson as an introvert, but introverts make the best salespeople because they tend to be empathetic. With empathy, the introvert is able to put herself in other people's shoes, which is essential in approaching a prospective client and understand his needs. Introverts are very selective in who they engage with. Empathy is a huge asset in selling because sales are closely related to trust. Some people are naturally talented at sales, but anyone can develop their sales skills over time to build a satisfying and lucrative career. Because of their empathy, women are considered better in selling, with an 11% increased capacity to close a sale. However, on average women have a much lower pay than men, therefore they are not such good negotiators. If you are not naturally gifted with empathy, that's a skill that you can always develop. The capacity of understanding emotions in the sales process is crucial. With more empathy, you'll be able to build trust, and that's the key to success in a narcissistic and bankrupt society. These are the good sellers. The bad sellers present you a nice package, which in reality prove to be only a bunch of words and nothing else. Bad sellers are very much concerned with robbing from you, because that's all that they know to do, scamming. It's very easy to do and they got expertise because it's very profitable. They are simply unable to produce value. Even if society does not value introverts, most millionaires are introverts. Some of the world's most successful business people, including Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, have been described as introverts. More than 75% of people with an IQ above 160 are introverted. Introverts make successful entrepreneurs and creative people because they enjoy expressing themselves creatively through their work. Take a look at all inventors, writers, and entrepreneurs. Most of them are introverts. If we want our economy to grow, we have to stop giving a shit on people in general and on introverts in particular. The economy will not grow without research, and nobody is willing to pay for this research. Scientists are currently used and abused. They should become sellers and profit from their struggles. You cannot have a good seller without a good product. Some employers force the selling of a product through selling tactics, which did not make any sense to me. Selling reminds me of The Emperor's New Clothes, the story of Hans Christian Andersen. And of course you are not allowed to say that the emperor is naked. But if you are not convinced of the product, how can you convince potential buyers? Of course the employer gets very angry very quickly, and hurry to get rid of you in the worst possible conditions, if you dare not to show your enthusiasm for the emperor's new clothes. By hitting you inside, nobody will be able to find damages outside. And the justice system supports the employer in everything he does. But this so-called successful combination to get rid of doers will not get the system very far. You cannot be a good seller with a bad product. As self-employed, you will have to make sure always to have a good product to sell. A good product and a good seller cannot be improvised. They take a lot of time and effort, while companies want to make a lot of money fast. In order to get a good product, the companies need to invest in research. But research is expensive, therefore there is no research. It's definitely not the right time for researchers. It's probably the time of scamming research. Stay as far as possible from these employers. But then how to manage to pay your bills? That's an excellent question. It's difficult to be a creator and a seller in the same time, because both jobs are difficult. But when you don't have another choice, you'll need to find a way to do both. I can give you the perfect example of a couple doer-seller. Celine Dion and her husband, Renee Angelo. A win-win situation. Unfortunately, the win-win situations are not considered the norm anymore. Our society encourages the zero-sum games. For someone to win, someone else has to lose. Hopefully the YouTube game is a win-win game for creators and audience, but of course it's not always the case. Sometimes it's a zero-sum game as well. This was my video for today. If I didn't make you lose your time, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.